Robert Plank Show, episode 143. Success is an inside job. Create and promote your itty bitty book with Suzy Prudden. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Robert Plank Show. We're here with Suzy Prudden, who is a legend. She is an internationally acclaimed speaker and seminar leader, a New York Times bestselling author from before the internet, a fitness expert, a body and mind pioneer, hypnotherapist, success coach, radio host, publisher. She's been on Oprah, Good Morning America, and the Today Show. It sounds like there's nothing she can't do. How are things today, Suzy?
Oh, Robert, they are fabulous. They just keep getting better. The older I get, the better they get.
That's what I like to hear. Every day is the best day of your life because every day is better than before, right?
Yes, and I had a friend of mine say to me one time, we were at a party, and I said to him, I'm having the best time ever. And with annoyance, he said, you always say that. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, I do. And then he realized that it was the best time ever. It didn't mean that the other days weren't any good. It just meant that this was the best. And so if every day is a best day, you're having a best life.
That sounds like an amazing message. So can you tell me, you sound like a interesting person. Can you tell me about yourself and what it is you do and what makes you different? Besides the obvious,
well,
right? Where to
do we
begin?
have an hour? Do we have 3 hours? So basically, I started my career when I was 22 in 1965. And what happened was my mother told me I couldn't date the boy I was dating, so I ran away and married him. And that was when I was 19, and then I had to support him because he went back to school. So at 22, then I decided to have a baby. Nothing made any sense, you have to realize. And I started a fitness school because my mother was the nation's foremost fitness authority. And I became extremely successful. And I've written 9 books on fitness, 2 books on body mind. And I've done television. I had my own show on NBC in New York and fitness reporter for the Today Show. Had an amazing career. In 81, I divorced him. In 83, I sold my business and I retired at the age of 40. And then I had to figure out what to do with my life, but I didn't know who I was, so I became a workshop junkie. Then I started making up new thought programs and body-mind programs, and I just kept making stuff up, and it kept working. Then I became a hypnotherapist and a body-mind technologist, and things kept leading me forward to the place where I am now, which is taking all of my skills and helping entrepreneurs create 7-figure businesses, starting with writing a small book, which we call Itty Bitty Books, which started with when my sister took my name off of a book that we were writing. And when I saw that my name wasn't there, it meant I didn't have to write the books anymore, but I could have authors write books, and that's what I'm doing now. So an author writes an itty-bitty book, which is 15 steps to whatever their expertise is, and then we help them create a business which will help them make between 6 and 7 figures within 3 to 5 years.
Awesome.
It's exciting.
It sounds like it, and that's a pretty crazy story. And I love that how it's just one thing kind of led to the next logical step, right? As opposed to not necessarily like drifting around, but like one thing kind of ran its course, and then it kind of transitioned you into whatever this next stage was.
Yeah, and then I forgot to mention that 8 months after doing Oprah, I ended up homeless because
no.
I didn't pay attention to my money, and I spent it all. And so I took 10 months. I never lived in my car, but it was a very educational experience. And I knew it would change my life, and it did. This was in the 90s, 1990. And it caused me to have a different viewpoint on life and on the importance of paying attention, of being present. The secret tells everybody you can, there's a genie out there, wish for something and it'll come to you. Yes, that's true. And only if you take action. If you sit back and wait for it, it's not going to happen. So I am an action-oriented person. I get an idea and I act on it, and that's why I'm successful.
I like it.
And
Oh, go ahead.
that's why my authors are successful. The authors that I have that take action and do what I tell them make a lot of money.
Imagine that, right?
Exactly.
They realize that like they are an expert in a certain area, but their skills might be limited. They go to you as the expert, listen to what the expert says to do. It works. Pretty simple.
Very simple. I have 3 coaches. I spent the morning with one coach. I'm so excited about the stuff that I'm doing with this particular coach. I believe in coaches. When I lost everything, I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a team. I was kind of winging it, and I was successful, but I wasn't strategically successful. It was kind of hit or miss. Now I am strategically successful. I have a team. I have coaches, and I have people who keep me on track, who support me. I'm going to tell you something funny. I actually have someone who comes in once or twice a month and cleans my desk because I hate to do that. And I'm looking at my desk right now, and it's piled high with books and papers and files. And she's coming tomorrow, and we're going to spend the whole morning cleaning my desk because I will not do it. And a lot of entrepreneurs believe they have to do everything themselves, and they don't. I don't clean my house. I have somebody clean it. I change the cat box because it's kind of awful if you don't. But I do have someone who cleans my house. I have someone who cleans my desk. I have someone who makes my appointments because I don't have time because I'm doing the appointments. And I'm out there getting authors. I don't have time to then hound people to say, well, you gave me your card. Do you want to talk to me? I have someone else do it. So entrepreneurs, is extremely important that you delegate, because if you don't, you can't run your business in a way that's going to garner you the kind of income that you want. You'll be working, if you are an entrepreneur and you do everything yourself, you've really just created yourself a job that has more hours than if you work for somebody else.
Right, and you just end up overworked and kind of burned out. So how do you I guess how do you first of all like get the right people on your team, and how do you know when to do something yourself and when to delegate it? Kind of like you said that, so you know to somewhat delegate cleaning of the desk, but then there's something simple you know to clean the cat box. So how do you figure out those two things? Who to
Well,
have
very
and
simple.
what should do yourself?
It's very simple how I figured it out. I won't clean my desk. So I have not been able to clean my desk since my very first career. That was in 1965. I have not changed. I am not going to change. I'm 73 years old today. Day before yesterday, 2 days ago.
Happy birthday.
I won't do it. Thank you. I won't do it. So if you have something that you won't do and you keep waiting to do it, it's not going to get done. You just get someone to do it. Now, when it comes to the cat box, I could wait for my housekeeper to come, but that could be 1 or 2 weeks because she doesn't come every day. She comes once every week or once every 2 weeks, depending on how much time I'm spending in my house and how messy I make it. So if I wait 2 days to clean the cat box, it stinks. And I don't like the smell, so I clean it. It's that simple.
I mean, why make it more complicated than it has to be, right?
Yeah, I do my dishes too because I don't like, leaving them in the sink. But the night before my housekeeper comes, I don't do my dishes because she's going to do them the next morning. So, that's strategic. That's so simple, it's ridiculous. I also have someone who makes my calls. She's just had surgery this week, so she can't make my calls. So I'm finding time to make my calls because she can't. So that's just common sense. So you've got to bring a lot of common sense to business. And you have to pick up the phone. If you're in business, you have to pick up the phone. You cannot not pick up the phone. The money's in the phone. So when I'm talking to people, It's I find out what they need, and then I strategize with them to help them get it. And because I'm a hypnotherapist, if someone has a phone phobia, I just hypnotize them to stop it.
Nice.
And I have a wonderful new company which is able to help people get in front of people. It's called Itty Publishing. And you can go online and take a look at it, www.itty publishing.com, Itty Bitty Publishing. And we take experts and help them write a 15-step book on whatever their expertise is. And then we have a business builder program that we've just started recently to help them turn their itty bitty book into a business that will give them 6 or 7 figures depending on where they are in the moment. Some people are not at 6 figures, so we help them get to 6 figures. Some people are already at 6 figures, so why not make multiple 6 figures? If you're at multiple 6 figures, why not then make $1 million? I mean, it's all doable. It's all strategic, and you have to keep it simple, but you need help. And how do I choose the people that to work? If they're good at their job, I keep them. If they're not, I let them go.
Okay, I mean, and once again, super simple advice, and why make it any more complicated than it has to be, right? So I guess you have these people that you work with, and I guess you have somewhat of a period of time when you're just trying them out, and I guess seeing how well they do, I guess.
Yeah, and you really have to look at if it's a fit, it's a fit. If it's not, it's not. Usually it takes about 3 months to know for sure. And be very careful hiring friends, very careful, and don't hire family.
Good advice.
My business partner happens to be my sister, but I can't do what she does, and she can't do what I do. So it's a perfect combination.
And your sister is a partner, right? Not an employee of
No,
yours.
not an employee. She was an employee in my other company. I had to fire her. So
Funny.
it's much easier for her to be a partner.
Well, cool. So I like the idea of this itty bitty book and this 15 steps. I'm looking at the site, and there's like 15 steps to weight loss, 15 steps to traveling, cool stuff like that. So could you kind of walk us through a case study of one of these clients you had, one of the books you
I'll give
kind
you
of
my favorite. Well, there's two. I have two favorites right now.
perfect.
Anthony, who wrote a book, The Little Black Book of Sales. I met him at a conference last year when we were only a year old. Our company's only a year old. We have over 100 authors so far. So I met Anthony at a conference. I talked about Itty Bitty at lunch. He said, let me have an application. He signed up. He literally, at lunch, I never saw him before. At lunch, he got the concept. He wrote the book. And he has said to us over and over, it changed his life. His book, he signed the contract, I think, in March. His book came out in June of last year. He's probably made close to close to $500,000. Because of it, he uses his book as entree. He's a sales coach for the automotive industry for car dealerships. He goes into car dealerships. He'll give a presentation. They hire him for a year to help their sales, and he sells their books. So he's gotten contracts anywhere from $18,000 for the year to $54,000 for the year. And they sent him to Dubai this year to speak for 2 weeks. He's probably made close to $500,000 because he has an itty bitty book. It's an entree. It positions him as an expert in his field and creates him as an automatic authority. That's one case. The other one is Kat Bonzak, who wrote the book on marijuana. This is one of my favorite stories. When I spoke to her last summer, I think it was in August, and I met her at a conference. And when I called her and spoke to her, I said, so what do you do? And she said, well, I'm a full-blood gypsy. I went, okay. She said, I'm a disabled vet. I said, okay. She said, I'm a spiritual coach. I said, okay. And I'm a marijuana dispenser. I said, okay. She lives up in Washington State. I said, what do you want to write about? She said, I don't know, spiritual coaching. I said, Kat, what's the low-hanging fruit? She said, I don't know. I said, it's pot. She said, really? And she told me later she was afraid to tell me that she was a marijuana dispenser, but she took a chance. And so I said, yes. And how about you write the book, your amazing marijuana book, 15 Ways to Use Cannabis for Healing. She said, how did you do that? I said, that's what I do. Your next book is going to be how to talk 15 ways to talk to your children about cannabis. Your next book is going to be how to use edibles correctly. And you're going to create a coaching program, and you're going to teach people how to use cannabis so they use it wisely. So go find out if Cannabis Coach is available. It wasn't. I said, how about the Cannabis Coach? It was. I said, buy it. I said, buy the Cannabis Coach, U.S. Cannabis Coach, National Cannabis Coach, and Cannabis Coaching Certification Program. She did. And then she said, what about Mary Jane? And I said, I'd forgotten that Mary Jane was a term for marijuana. And so she said, I want to do Mary Jane parties. I want to do them like Tupperware parties where we sell cannabis paraphernalia at parties. I said, so go buy Mary Jane parties. She did. So she started teaching her cannabis coaching certification programs this past March, and she was at a conference recently where she sold 61 places in her cannabis coaching certification program, and in one day made $92,000.
Jeez.
That's a nice day.
I'll say. So go ahead.
I just got off the phone with her this morning. She's going to be doing one in Los Angeles, either late this year or early next year. And I told her she had to raise her prices because my coach told me I had to raise my prices. So I told her she had to raise her prices.
Awesome.
So instead of $1,500 to become a cannabis coach, it's now $2,500 to become a cannabis coach. So now she will take this business, and there'll be 50 cannabis coaches who are doing Mary Jane parties. They have to be licensed through her. They have to be certified through her. She gets money. They do the parties. She hooks them up with all the vendors. The vendors make money. The coaches make money, and she makes an override.
That's crazy. So your model works in just about any niche, it sounds like.
It does. It works in almost every niche.
So
and all you got to do is go ahead.
I'll finish your thought at least.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
Okay, fair enough. So, I mean, when I'm hearing about like the itty bitty book and the 15 steps, I mean, how big of a book are we talking about? 15 steps comes out to how many pages in this model?
Every chapter is 1 page.
Oh, wow. So super short.
It's an itty bitty book. Here's how to look at it. Dummies came out, I think, in the 80s. And they were the quintessential what you need to know books. But they're 350 pages. So you have to read a dummies book with a yellow highlighter. Itty bitty books are the yellow highlights. And so what we've done is we've taken the information that people need and simplified it so succinctly that it takes 20 minutes to read an itty bitty book, and you can mark the page that you need to reference. On page 1 of each chapter, it's the information. Page 2 of each chapter is a bullet point to more information that you can then send them, for example, to your website. To read more about this, go to here. And then you can have a white paper on your website or a workshop that you're doing. So you're sending people from your itty bitty book back and forth to your website, to your book, to your website, to your book. So you're constantly creating streams of income from your itty bitty book to your website, from your website to your webinars, to your seminars, to your products, to whatever it is you're selling. Or you can send them to somebody else or some other information depending on what the information is that they need. So yes, it's an itty bitty book, so you can handle it, but it's much bigger if you choose to go further. In other words, you don't have to weed through a lot of information to get to the piece you need. You get the piece you need, and then if you want to expand on it, it has a link. If it's a digital, it goes right to the thing. If it's paperback on Amazon, then you have to put the information into your computer. But all the itty bitty books are on Amazon, and they're on the digitals. We've done 9 best-selling campaigns so far, and we have 9 bestsellers so far. We have another bestseller. We do a bestseller campaign every month. And so every itty bitty author has the opportunity to become a best-selling author. It's so exciting. I get almost speechless with excitement because it's making so many people, it's giving so many people an opportunity to do so much more with what they had in the past. Now they have a further reach. They're all of a sudden international,
right?
Because they have a book on Amazon that can operate as a lead generator to their business. We also have a whole thing on our website where we have a directory where anyone around the world can sign up in our directory, and we send them leads when people click on their information and put in their information that they want to talk to this person about whatever product or whatever service. Like Anthony has sales, so if someone wants to learn from Anthony, they can contact Anthony, and we send Anthony the lead. It's very exciting.
That's pretty cool. And yeah, I'm looking around. I'm looking at your directory right now. I'm looking at Anthony's listing and that kind of stuff. And I mean, what I like about the way that you've laid it out is, first of all, that these people that you come in contact with who have a really good idea, they can get the book done quickly while they're still excited about it. And maybe before they met you, they've been struggling, right? Maybe some of them have half a book made and they thought it had
so
to be
many
300
of them.
pages.
So many of them. I said, I've been writing my book for the last 8 years, and this is what we do. When you say yes and you give us some money, because we are a pay-to-play house, we send you a How to Write an Itty Bitty book. We send you an itty bitty book, and we send you the template. And if you read the How to Write the Itty Bitty book and you write it the way we tell you to write it, and you use the template, we've had people write their books in 2 afternoons. We also send you an agreement at that time, and then we have a long conversation about the agreement. So you have a legitimate publishing agreement where you own the copyright, we own the publishing right. And it's your material. You can do anything you want with it. You just can't do it in the itty-bitty format. And so it opens the door for you to do more. And then we also have on our site, you'll see there's a thing there that says tell your story. So let's say you have a story. You can write your story. You'll send it to us. We'll put it up. We'll send you your link to your story, and we won't charge you. We'll put it up on our website. We will send you the link to your story. So you send your story now to everybody you know. And then you ask them, please send my story to and then you have them link back to you. So it's a way for you to, again, get your stuff out there. It's not an itty-bitty, it's like a page. But people have stories they want to tell. I have a wonderful story that I tell about, I can't tell it now, it's too long, but it's about an experience I had during the days where I didn't have my own home. And it's a great story. And it takes 3 minutes to tell on stage. It would probably take a page and a half to tell in a written. It's not nearly as compelling written as it is when I speak it. But I could put that story up, send it to everybody. People go, wow, what a great story. I think I'll send this out to my friends. And then say, contact Suzy if you want to write a story. So now I've got an opportunity for 1 million people to write their stories on my website.
Cool. I mean, why make it any more complicated than it has to be, right?
It's not complicated. That's correct. And then I can send them to, if they want a website like my website, which is a phenomenal website, there's an opportunity for them to contact my web person and say, yeah, I want to talk to you about a website. She's amazing and not at all expensive, and I would highly recommend people do it. And she's totally amazing. But I don't know how this happened. I honestly don't. It's like magic happened when my sister showed me that cover. And after my ego got up off the floor because she took my name off it, I saw it as a multi-million-dollar business. and now working with my coach who's in Myrtle Beach, and I'm in California, and I go there, not every day, not every week. We talk mostly on the phone. I probably go there like 3 times a year. But my company is growing exponentially, and I saw that would happen when I was at a conference last May in Las Vegas. I went, whoa, this is the company that's going to grow my business. And it is.
Well, cool. So, I mean, I don't want to keep you for too long, but as we're winding this down, could you tell us, like, out of all the clients you deal with and the people that you work with to make their itty bitty book and to, get their coaching program set up and stuff like that, what's the big number one mistake you see all these people making over and over again?
Not finishing their book.
I mean, pretty simple, right? So you're saying that these people who maybe if they've tried publishing in the past, or if they've gone through all the runaround and all that stuff, what they should do is, instead of trying to make it complicated, get an itty bitty book, hire you for coaching, and make one of these 15-page things that just has all their knowledge compressed and simplified, so that people who want to know about whatever topic, right, about websites or about marijuana type of stuff, they don't have to read the 600-page manual. They just get the condensed Cliff Notes version.
Get the condensed version that will give them more information if they want it. See, if you've got an idea, and I don't take every idea, and I will tell you I don't take every idea that comes to me, because I know that some ideas would not fit into this format and that it would not serve the person. I only want to work with people that I know that I can help them really expand their careers. And so I will work with people to massage it into something that will expand their careers. But if I see that this book would not do that, I won't take them as an author. And that's doing them a favor.
Right. And that's cool. And I've noticed too, like, especially lately, as books have had since books are now on, Kindle and things like that, and a lot of books have had these internet resources where they say, on such and such page, if you want to know more about that, go over to this website. I like that a lot more as a reader, because now it's more of a choose my own adventure. Now I don't have to, only go with one chapter. I can just kind of pick, I can get the whole big picture really quickly, and then just say on chapter 4 or page 4, if I want to go and take that deeper, now I have the choice to, but I'm not forced to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to you. And the other thing, I had an idea just a second ago. Oh, you very often hear people say your book is your business card. It is not. It is absolutely not your business card. Your book is your business builder. And we tell our authors to have business cards that are, just a second, what's the word I'm looking for? They're like bookmarks. Your bookmark is your business card. Your book is your business builder. I don't like it when people give me a book that I don't want. I am very respectful of books, so I don't throw it away. But now I have to find it a home because it's cluttering up mine, and I don't want it. Give me a business card. Don't give me a book. And I'm clear about that, because people have tried to, please don't give me your book. And they'll say, but it's a good book. I said, I'm sure it is. Please don't give it to me. If I want it, I'll buy it.
And I like that. I like that mentality behind that, where it seems almost like everyone has it backwards, right? Like the average person says, "Well, I'm Robert, or I'm Suzy. I do this stuff. Let me make a book about that." But what you're saying is it's better to have this book that solves a problem, so people are actually looking to solve that problem, looking for that book. They get it. They solve the problem, as opposed to just kind of reading it for the heck of it.
Well, people won't read it. I mean, I've been to seminars where the author, the seminar person, has done what I have done in 2006, which was buy 2,000 of my books. Now I have to sell 2,000 books. So you end up giving them away. So I walk into a seminar, and especially with compilation books, and I'll see that on every seat is a book. That author doesn't know what to do with them. So he gives them away, thinking it gives them credibility. In my mind, and I'm a snob because I was a bestseller before the internet. That's when you actually had to buy the book. You don't have to buy books anymore, really, to be a bestseller. You could do a campaign on Amazon and be a bestseller. You do not have to sell a lot of books to do that. If you want to be a bestseller on the New York Times now, you hire a company, you pay them $135,000, and they'll make you a bestseller. When I was a bestseller, you had to actually go into the bookstore and buy the book. So I'm a snob. And but you want to use your book, as I've always said, as a business builder, and you don't want to put it on every chair in your seminar, because then what if somebody doesn't want it? Now they have to do something with it.
And how bad would that look too, or how bad does that look if all the books are laid out on all the chairs, and then after you give your talk and everyone's on break, all the books are left in the chairs? That just
it's a
sounds
little
like
embarrassing.
Disaster. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, but you can. I mean, there are places where speakers speak where the person who hires them to speak wants to give the book to their participants. That's a whole different thing. Then that speaker sells the book to the person who's putting on the talk, and that person gives them as a gift. It's different than if you take my book. I don't want to take your book.
Right.
I know it's a good book. I'm not interested in your topic. Don't give it to me. Give me your business card.
So there is a much better way. So I really like your thinking, Suzy, and I like your business model here and your structure, your template. So could you tell us about where people can find Itty Bitty Publishing, along with any other websites you want to mention here?
Okay, so the best way to do it is go to ittybittypublishing.com, and that's ITTY publishing.com. ittybittypublishing.com, and you get all the information. And for your listeners, if you want to send in your story, send in the story. And Robert, why don't you send us a story?
Okay.
We'll put it up.
About what? What do you want?
You. Well, how did you start this? How did you start doing these interviews?
Okay.
What's the story behind your interviews? How has it helped your career? How has it helped other people's careers? And you see, what happens then is that you send it out, and other people want to contact you and be interviewed by you, and now your business grows.
I mean, simple, but it sounds very effective.
Very effective, and then you'll be part of the Itty Bitty family.
Cool. So ittybittypublishing.com. And thanks for being on the show, Suzy, and thanks for sharing just your unique but kind of clever and at the same time simple insight on how, first of all, everyone can get that book finished that might have been on their back for 5 or 10 years, and then also some of these cool strategies for getting these books sold, getting it all promoted. So thanks for stopping by.
And thank you for the opportunity.
Hey, this is Robert Plank, and thanks for tuning in so much for the discussion that Suzy and I just had. Be sure, while it's still fresh on your mind, to go to robertplank.com/iTunes to subscribe, rate, and review the show. Go ahead, do it right now.